Look, Bills Mafia, we need to talk about something real quick. And yeah, it's about our guy Josh Allen. But before you start panicking and throwing tables in despair, hear me out because this is actually a good thing we're about to dive into here. Sunday's absolute demolition of the Carolina Panthers. That beautiful 49 beatdown that reminded everyone why we're a force to be reckoned with in this league. It showed us exactly what this team is capable of when all the pieces start clicking together. We're sitting pretty at 5-2, right there neck and neck with New England in the AFC East race. And while everyone's celebrating James Cook's absolutely ridiculous performance, Michael Hocht making his debut splash, Khalil Shakir getting back to doing Khalil Shakir things, and AJ Epinesa showing up like the defensive monster we know he can be. There's this elephant in the room that actually represents our biggest opportunity for growth moving forward. And that's the fact that Josh Allen, our franchise quarterback, our MVP candidate, our guy who literally sets NFL records in his sleep at this point, he's going through what every single elite quarterback goes through at some point in their career. And the fact that we're identifying it now, right before we face Kansas City, right when it matters most. That's actually the perfect timing for us to make this adjustment and come out stronger than ever. Here's the thing that Bills Mafia needs to understand right now, and this is crucial. Josh Allen isn't broken, he's not falling off, he's not declining. He's literally just in his own head a bit. And you know what that means? It means the physical tools are all still there. The arm talent that makes defensive coordinators wake up in cold sweats is still there. The legs that can turn a broken play into a first down are still there. Everything we love about Josh is still right there. It's just a matter of getting his mental game back in sync with his physical gifts. And that's honestly the easiest thing to fix because we're talking about Josh freaking Allen here. A guy who has overcome so much more than a few games where his timing is slightly off. Since that second half against Baltimore, yeah, things have looked a little different. The precision isn't quite at that championship level we've come to expect. Some throws that normally are dimes have been just slightly off target. And look, the bar is set so high by this guy that when he's even slightly below his own standard, it stands out like a neon sign in the dark. But that's actually a testament to how incredible he's been, how much he's spoiled us with his excellence, because we're literally analyzing a game where we won by 31 points and saying our quarterback needs to be better, which is both hilarious and amazing when you think about it. Now let's break down what we're actually seeing here because this isn't about being negative. This is about recognizing patterns and understanding that the solution is so close we can practically taste it. The missed throws, yeah, they're happening. And Josh himself said it after the game. He's not trusting his feet, he's forcing things a bit, he's second-guessing himself in moments where his instincts should take over. And you know what? The fact that he recognizes it means we're already halfway to fixing it. When your quarterback can self-scout, can identify his own issues, can stand up after dropping 40 points on a team and say, I need to be better, that's not a red flag, that's a green flag, waving so hard it might fly off the pole. Josh talked about not getting into a rhythm in that first half, about not trusting himself, about forcing a couple of things. But he also mentioned they were solid on third downs. They moved the sticks. They found a way to win. And there's still so much to clean up, which, as he said, is the exciting thing. And he's absolutely right about that. The pocket presence thing, the escapability, the time to throw. Yes, there are definitely some moments where it looks like early career Josh is making a cameo appearance. And sure, some of that is on the offensive line, needing to give him better protection. Some of that is on receivers needing to create separation faster. But a lot of it is also Josh being a bit too quick to bail, being a bit too hesitant to tuck it and run when that's literally one of his superpowers. And that play on Sunday, where he circled back around to his left and ended up taking a sack on third down instead of either firing it away or taking off. Yeah, that was frustrating to watch, but it was also instructive because it showed us exactly where his head is at right now. He's thinking too much instead of just playing football. He's calculating when he should be reacting. He's trying to be perfect instead of being great. And the beautiful thing about all of this is that it's completely correctable. Like, we're not talking about arm strength declining, or mobility disappearing, or decision-making completely falling apart. We're talking about a mental reset that can happen literally between now and Sunday, when we face the Chiefs. And speaking of that Chiefs game, can we just acknowledge for a second that this is exactly the kind of game Josh Allen lives for? This is the kind of primetime showdown against elite competition that has historically brought out the absolute best version of our quarterback. And if there's ever been a time for him to snap out of this little funk and remind everyone why he's in the MVP conversation every single year, it's going to be under the lights against Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City. The timing of this couldn't be more perfect because Josh has had a couple of weeks now to feel slightly off his game, to recognize it, to work on it in practice, to get with Ken Dorsey and the offensive staff and iron out whatever mechanical or mental things need addressing. And now he gets to step onto that field with something to prove, with a chip on his shoulder, with the entire football world watching to see if the Bills are really legitimate contenders this year. This is the kind of adversity that doesn't break elite quarterbacks. It makes them even better. It gives them fuel. It gives them purpose. It reminds them why they fell in love with this game in the first place. Let's also talk about the context here because it's important. The Bills are 5-2. Despite Josh not being at his absolute peak level, we just destroyed a team by 31 points. With Josh admitting he wasn't trusting himself, we're keeping pace with the best teams in the AFC while our quarterback is still finding his groove. And that should actually be terrifying for the rest of the league because imagine what happens when Josh does click back into MVP mode. Imagine when those throws that are just slightly off target start hitting receivers in stride again. Imagine when that pocket presence returns to its elite level. Imagine when he starts trusting his feet and his instincts again and just goes out there and plays free, plays loose, plays with that confidence that makes him unstoppable. The scary thing for the rest of the AFC isn't that Josh Allen is struggling a bit right now, it's that the Bills are this good, even when he's not at his best. And once he figures it out, once he makes those adjustments, once he comes out of this funk with renewed focus and determination, this team is going to be absolutely unstoppable moving forward. You know what else is exciting about this situation? The fact that we're having this conversation in late October rather than in January. We're identifying these issues with plenty of time to fix them before the playoffs. We're going through this adversity early enough in the season that it becomes a learning experience rather than a season-ending crisis. And that's huge for our Super Bowl chances. Every championship team goes through moments like this where their star player has to overcome something, has to dig deep, has to find another gear. And this is Josh's moment to do exactly that. He's got the talent, he's got the work ethic, he's got the intelligence, he's got the leadership qualities, he's got literally everything you could possibly want in a franchise quarterback. And now he's got a challenge in front of him to overcome. And if there's one thing we know about Josh Allen, it's that he thrives when facing challenges. He gets better when people doubt him. He elevates his game when the stakes are highest. The offensive weapons around him are still incredible. James Cook is running like a man possessed. Khalil Shakir is that security blanket Josh can always count on. The offensive line is still one of the better units in the league, even if they've had a couple rough moments. And the defense is playing lights out football game after game after game. Everything is in place for this team to make a serious run. The only thing that needs fine-tuning is Josh's confidence and timing. And that's legitimately the most fixable issue you could possibly have with a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. It's not like we need to overhaul the entire offense. It's not like we need to bring in new players or change the scheme. We literally just need our guy to trust himself again, to play with that fearless mentality that made him a star in the first place, to stop overthinking and start just balling out the way he knows how to do. And let's be real here, Bills Mafia. Josh Allen has proven time and time again that he can make adjustments, that he can learn from his mistakes, that he can evolve as a player. Remember when everyone said he couldn't be accurate? He proved them wrong. Remember when people said he turned the ball over too much? He cleaned that up. Remember when critics claimed he couldn't win the big games? He's been shutting them up for years now. This is just another chapter in the Josh Allen story where he faces adversity, works through it, and comes out better on the other side. And we get to witness it happening in real time, which is actually pretty special when you think about it. This isn't a cause for concern. This is a setup for an incredible comeback story. This is Josh about to remind everyone why he's one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever play this game. The Chiefs game is going to be massive. It's going to be a statement game one way or another. And I genuinely believe we're going to see a version of Josh Allen that's been waiting to break through these last few weeks. He's had time to study the film, to work on his mechanics, to get his mental approach right, and now he gets to step onto that stage and show the world that whatever funk he was in, it's over now. That's the kind of competitor Josh is. That's the kind of leader this team needs. And that's exactly what we're going to get. The rest of the AFC should be worried right now because a motivated Josh Allen, who has something to prove, is maybe the most dangerous player in football. And that's exactly what Kansas City is going to have to deal with. So yes, there have been some concerning moments these last few weeks. Yes, Josh hasn't been quite at his MVP level. Yes, there are legitimate things he needs to clean up moving forward. But this is not the time for panic. This is not the time for doubt. This is the time to rally behind our guy and trust that he's gonna figure it out because he always does. The Bills are in great position at 5-2. We're about to face the kind of competition that brings out the best in elite teams. And our franchise quarterback is on the verge of breaking out of this mini slump and playing the best football of his career down the stretch. Everything is lining up perfectly for something special to happen. And Bills Mafia needs to be ready for it because this team, with Josh Allen leading the way, is about to show everyone what they're really capable of when firing on all cylinders. The Super Bowl window is wide open, the talent is there, the coaching is solid, the defense is elite, and our quarterback just needs to trust himself again. That's it. That's the whole equation. And it's about to get solved in the most spectacular way possible. Get hyped, Bills Mafia, because the best is yet to come. And it's coming soon. This Chiefs game is going to be the turning point, mark my words. And when Josh steps up and delivers like we all know he can, this whole conversation is going to feel silly because we'll all remember that we're talking about Josh Allen here, a guy who has never let us down when it truly matters. And he's not about to start now. If you're as fired up about this team's potential as I am, make sure you smash that subscribe button right now. Hit that like button to show some love for our guy Josh Allen. And drop a comment below letting me know. Do you think Josh Allen bounces back big against the Chiefs and reminds everyone why he's elite? Or do you think he needs another week or two to fully get back to MVP form? Comment Chiefs game if you think he goes off this Sunday. Or comment needs time if you think it takes a bit longer. Let's hear what Bills Mafia thinks.